What's up guys, my name is Alexis and welcome to another video. Today I was going to do a reaction to The Hype by 21 Pilots, but in the middle of me watching the video, I decided to take this video in a different direction. Instead of just doing a regular reaction to it, I actually ended up taking a bunch of notes of things that I've noticed in the video, so we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive and talk about these things in the video. I just finished watching it and I am all up in my feels. If you've been a fan of my channel for a while, you know that I love 21 Pilots with all of my heart. I don't want to make this emotional. I always just get really emotional when I talk about them. This video is loaded with Easter eggs. It is filled with symbolism and analogies. I'm gonna watch the video for like the 12th time and go back and tell you guys about my notes. There's so many things I want to talk about this video, so let's start off right off the bat. The opening scene for the music video is Tyler standing alone, and as the camera zooms in, he opens up his chest, which is a direct reference to one of their earlier songs called Screen.
Cause there's a screen on my chest. Yeah, there's a screen on my chest.
The line from that song is, "There's a screen on my chest." So right here, this is the first little Easter egg. This is the first cool tidbit of something from the past. Immediately we see the window of a house, which is, I'm guessing, the window to his heart, to his inner thoughts, his inner workings, an internal realization of how he feels for the band and everything that's been going on. He's wearing a plaid long sleeve. You'll see that the accents in the house also has plaid. What does the plaid mean? We'll get into that later. I have my entire theory on that. I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. When the first chorus of the song comes in, the camera zooms out and suddenly that empty living room is now filled with a handful of people. So the boys went from playing to absolutely no one, having no eyes on them, to having a couple of people watching them. It's really important to note that all these people in the room are not paying attention to them. They're in the room, they're listening to music, but they're not physically focused on Tyler and Josh. He unplugs his bass in the middle of playing it. This part kind of threw me for a loop in the music video. I wasn't expecting it. He unplugs it from playing and he walks into a garage. When he walks into the garage, he's now wearing another layer of plaid, and Josh now has a plaid bucket hat. He also has his white and gold bass now. The mat for the drum set as well is also plaid. So little by little we start seeing more elements of plaid pop up through the music video. Again, what does the plaid mean? We'll get into that. Next little Easter egg that I noticed that I really appreciate is right above Josh, at about 1 minute and 32 seconds, on top of the bigger amplifier, there is a roll of yellow tape. So now they're playing in a garage, and instead of just having a handful of people doing their own thing, they have a couple more people, but they're actually listening to their music. They're actually watching them perform. This is symbolizing the fan base when it was growing. I say that this would probably be a representation of their Vessel era. It was one of their earlier albums when they first started gaining that solid fundamental fan base. Also, here's another thing. I don't know if people have noticed this yet, but in the garage scene there are 3 light bulbs. There's the one in the front of the garage and there's 2 in the back corners. I don't know if this has anything to do with the song The Judge, where he says 3 lights are lit but the 4th one's out, but I did catch that and I think that that is neat. So as we see in the garage, it is a larger crowd. There's a lot more people watching them, a lot more people enjoying their music. Like I said earlier, this is the fan base when it was growing at a steady and healthy rate. Then Tyler puts the bass away and walks up the ladder and onto the roof of the house. When he walks up to the roof of the house, suddenly he's wearing full plaid. I'm talking the bucket hat, the flannel, the sweater underneath, the pants, the shoes. Everything is plaid, and the same goes for Josh. He's also full head to toe in plaid. Suddenly, the bottom entire front yard of the house is filled with about 300 to 500 people singing and screaming along. It's a full-on concert on the top of that house. When the camera turns over to the crowd, you see all of these real-life fans, which I think is really amazing that they involved the fans in something like this. But you can see that everyone in that crowd is wearing plaid. Again, what does the plaid mean? We're almost there. Quick note, can we just appreciate Ned? At approximately 2 minutes and 40 seconds, he's on the back of a girl's shoulders, jumping up and down as the boys are playing on stage. Exactly 10 seconds after, at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, he's being embraced and held up so that he can see the boys perform. I think that's just a really cool Easter egg because everybody loves Ned. So far, we've seen the progression of the band go from a small living room space to a slightly larger garage space, and now they're on top of the roof performing to what seems to be the entire town. This is a direct correlation of their immense success and growth with the release of their album Blurryface. A lot of people did not know who 21 Pilots were until they dropped their album Blurryface. That album was the pinnacle album in their careers, and it amassed them millions and millions of fans. 21 Pilots rocketed to stardom after the release of that album. You see that clearly depicted in this music video when they're on the roof. Then suddenly it gets a little dark. The band blew up, quite literally, in this music video. The roof that was holding them up started to cave in and explode. This is what happened to 21 Pilots after their huge success with Blurryface. They got so big, they toured for almost 3 years straight off of that one album, and suddenly they dropped. Just the way Tyler drops down from the roof into the living room. They fall and suddenly their fans are no longer there. This was the hiatus. After their immense success and touring, they decided to go away for a little bit. They just disappeared off the face of the planet for 2 years. But once they're back down in the living room, he gets back up. Suddenly the walls that were destroyed start building themselves back up. Everything that had been destroyed in that house is getting put back together with the coming of the trench era. This part of the music video really made me emotional because they both stop playing and they hold their arms open, and it looks like they're getting shot. The way I see this is all the shots that they were taken during their hiatus. It's kind of reversing itself. Suddenly, they both rip off their layers of plaid and they're quite literally back to their roots. Josh in blue, Tyler in white. Josh grabs a hat and wears it backwards. That's his signature look from when they first started. And then his drumsticks turn yellow. Tyler reaches behind him and grabs a roll of yellow duct tape and starts putting it all over, symbolizing that the writing process and the making of Trench really healed both of them. At the end, Tyler walks over to 2 posters that are slightly tilted on the wall, one which by the fact looks like Dima. I see you, Tyler. But he puts it back up and tapes it with yellow tape. Then the camera zooms out and back out of Tyler's chest and he covers it up. And may we not forget, Josh hands him a strawberry Capri Sun.
Strawberry.
But wait, there's one more question that I still haven't answered. What was that question past me? What does the plaid mean? Well, friends, after some careful consideration and some deep thinking, I believe the hype. No. I believe that the plaid represents the hype around the boys and the hype around the band that was so quickly amassed. You see that Tyler was only wearing it because he believed in himself, he believed in the band. Then people started joining in on that. The fans started donning it, they started copying, and I guess this is even so much more symbolic because the boys end up in full plaid at that one point, saying that they fully believed in the hype of themselves, that they were falling into that mainstream pop stardom kind of path. But then when they fall back, they return to their roots and they're no longer wearing plaid, as if saying that they didn't give in to the industry. They didn't give in to the hype of their band. They didn't give in to the hype of the success. This is them saying that they are still them, they are still original, and they are still the band that they were when they first started. That's it. That's what I have to say about the music video. Those were my theories, my observations, all the little Easter eggs that I found. Did I miss anything that you probably noticed? Let me know in the comments below. What did you think about the music video? Did it make you feel feelings? Because it sure as heck made me feel feelings. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, don't believe the hype.
This should be played at high volume.